talk about when things don't go as planned. As most of you might know, mushroom farming, the number one thing is contamination, and sometimes things aren't going to work the way you planned, and contamination is a very real threat for anyone starting a mushroom business. Anyone who's read anything about this business, they know that this is how mushroom businesses get shut down. And contamination is a very real thing because we're growing mycelium, which behaves just like mold. And if we're not careful and we don't provide a proper sterile technique, proper sterilization, or even just proper technique on the farm, this is what is the result of fucking up. Essentially, this is how you mess up, this is how you lose money, and this is how your business can go under. So we've always dealt with contamination in the summer. We're always changing things every year to figure out exactly what went wrong so that we don't repeat our mistakes. And I thought this year we were kind of on track for beating it, but we've definitely had a little bit of contamination this year, and a lot of it we're narrowing down to the forest fires. Actually, right now in the Okanagan, there's a lot of smoke here, and our filters, they're starting to get clogged a lot quicker than I had ever intended, a lot quicker than I actually realized. So we're just starting to realize that our pre-filters to our lab are basically clogging within 1 or 2 weeks, depending on what's in the air, and then our flow hoods in our lab are not working as well as they should. This lab is a little bit different. Lab 1, we have an independent flow hood, which is our intake system, and then we have a flow hood that we use as our workbench, whereas the lab 2, just in the back there, our intake and circulation is all one unit. And then if our intake filter gets clogged, it's actually going to clog our workbench. So this is a problem that we've been actually dealing with for about maybe 2 or 3 weeks right now, and we're not really sure how often we should change these filters. But right now our plan is about every 2 weeks or as needed, and I'm going to pay attention to the air quality outside. However, this contamination is actually not as a result of our flow hoods. These are actually our 50% soy hull, 50% hardwood fuel pellet mix, and we pretty much lost 100% of our bags. I'd probably have to guess we have maybe 20 or 40 bags that are left in our lab that are still going to be okay. And a lot of that we accounted for was that these blocks, they compress a lot more than our wood chips, and they actually stay hot a lot longer than we had intended. So when we were taking these bags out of our sterilization, we were essentially ripping the vacuum seal of the bag because the bag was still really, really hot. Something that I hadn't intended and something that I hadn't actually really considered. But now that we're going through our notes and trying to realize exactly how this contamination happened, we're starting to remember exactly how hot these bags were. So I made a mistake, and I did a trial of 350 bags of our hardwood fuel pellet and soy hull mix. And I definitely want to say that, when you're trying something new, always keep it small. We didn't have a choice. We were out of wood chips last week, and I was just trying to expedite our production. So we did our best guess and we went for it, but hadn't intended the cool down period for these bags to actually be a lot longer than what is needed. So today I've done a smaller trial. We're still doing our 20% bran with hardwood fuel pellets, and I'm still doing my 50% soy hull with hardwood fuel pellets. However, we're actually pre-sealing the bags, and then we're going to be sterilizing it so that when we unload this in 2 days, they're still going to be hot, but the bags are going to be sealed and they shouldn't contaminate. This is a strategy we've done in the past. It's a little bit more labor intensive, but if we're still able to get every bag to grow out without contaminating, this is something that I would like to find out, because composting this is a lot of work. But it's also part of the business. It's trying to figure out how your farm works and always trying to move forward and stay ahead of contamination. So we always overproduce. I always intend to have contamination in the summer until I can figure out exactly what's going on. And because my business is seasonal, this stuff actually takes a long time to figure out. So we're at year 4 on the farm right now, and possibly by year 5 we'll have this figured out, assuming the pre-filter to our labs was the cause to our main problem, and assuming that sealing our hardwood fuel pellets is the way to go. So these are some of the things that we're working on right now, and really we have to work on this pretty quickly because there's a lot of stuff in the air right now, but as it cools down, we head into winter or head into fall, there's less particulates in the air, and if we don't have everything figured out, even if we do something wrong, our chance to succeed is actually going to be greater, and contamination is actually harder. Whereas peak summer, we need to find out what are the vectors of contamination so that when the air quality is not good and not perfect or not ideal, we're at least not going to have to compost bags like this. Anyways guys, I hope this motivates you to keep going. Always try to figure out and problem solve your business, because I've been doing this for a long time and I still have problems. This is all normal, but trying to figure out how to prevent this is how you become profitable. This is how you become successful. So I hope you guys found this helpful. We'll talk to you soon.